welcome. Episode 10 of Alpha Dad Mindset. And today, talking about a difference in wanting to be a dad and having to parent. There's a lot of parents, a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers. They like holding the title of being mom or being dad. But sometimes the issue that they have is they don't like to parent their children. And that's all part of being mom and being dad. Sometimes you're going to have to do stuff and do your job as a parent, and sometimes it's not always going to be fun. Sometimes it's going to suck. Sometimes it's going to be frustrating. But in a lot of cases, I think adults, they like the status. They like the status of being mom or dad or having a son or having a daughter. But then they got to get into the trenches and they got to dig and they got to be a parent and they got to do their job. Like, do you want to be loved by your son or daughter, or do you want to be a parent? Because a lot of the time, being a parent and doing your job and raising healthy, happy, respectful children, they're not always going to like you in that moment. Now, you got to be prepared for that. You got to be prepared that as a dad, there's going to be moments where your son or your daughter, they're not going to like you. And they're going to tell you. And they're going to be pissed off with you. And you got to be okay with that. Because you're not there to be their friend. You could be friendly with your son or your daughter. Of course you can. But you're not their friend. You're their dad. And there's a big, big difference. You're there to set the rules. And you're there to set the boundaries. And remember, it's your rules. It's your rules, your boundaries. Not their mother's. Yours. And there's a difference. You don't want to be that dad where your son or your daughter's coming to you with a question, coming to you with advice, or like, hey, dad, can I go do this? And your response to that is, no, go ask your mother. Don't be that dad. Don't be that dad. Be the dad that you set the rules, you set the boundaries, you set the laws and narratives in your household. That you don't always need to go, gotta go check with my wife first, gotta go check with your mother first. We don't know. She's the boss. Don't be like that. You're the king of the castle. Start acting like the king of the castle. Alright? Pull yourself together. Start acting like it. Because you're the dad, right? You're the leader. And your children aren't going to respect you, and they're not going to look up to you, and they're not going to see you as a leader if you're always, deferring to their mother's authority. Always deferring to your mother's rules. Yeah, of course your mother's going to have her own rules and her own boundaries. Of course. But you shouldn't be the one always deferring to her. So look, at the end of the day, if you have a child, or you have 2 children in the house, or 3 children, those are the children. You as the dad in the house are not another child in the house. You're the father. Alright? And your children need to see you like that. And so does your wife. And so do other people and your friends and your family and everyone around that family, extended family. They need to see you as that. You're not another child in the house. You're the man of the house. Especially if you're having a son, you gotta teach him how to be the man of the house. And if you're having a daughter, you gotta teach him. You gotta teach her a positive masculine role model. And that's gonna follow her till she grows up. And you need to be firm. We need to, before you have to be firm on those boundaries, but you also need to decide what your boundaries are. And be okay and start getting comfortable with being the bad guy sometimes. times because you are going to be the bad guy. But here's a rule about human nature. Humans want boundaries. They want rules. They want structure. Especially kids growing up, they want to feel that because it's going to make them feel safe. It's going to make them feel comfortable. Because if you're a dad that doesn't, if you're a dad that's not comfortable being a parent, that you're just there to give them money, buy them stuff, but not actually spending the time getting down deep with them and spending the time actually getting to know your kids, going through rough times with them, setting rules and setting boundaries with them. Over time, there's going to be a huge lack of connection, an enormous lack of connection. Because over time, they're going to know and they're going to figure out that you didn't do your job as a parent. You didn't lead them effectively. And they're going to pick up on that and they're going to know that. And that's going to all tie into their respect for you. So you got to ask yourself those questions. That why are you becoming a parent? Why are you becoming a father? Why? My son is due in roughly 3 months from now. My son is due. And, funny little story. This morning, first time ever, and I'll admit this. I'll admit this to myself. I'll admit this to all of you. As a 35-year-old man, first time I learned how to tie a tie. First time. Because I'm getting my suit ready for Christmas next week, so I'm getting all my stuff together. And I realized that I don't know how to tie a tie. As a 35-year-old man, that's a problem. And it's even more a problem that my son is due in 3 months. And not that I'm going to teach him to tie a tie anytime soon, but eventually I will. See, I need to learn how to tie a tie. It's kind of sad and pathetic. Yeah. Part of that I was never taught. I never had a father to teach me how to tie a tie. So you know what? I just spent a good 10-15 minutes, just had my phone down, had the YouTube going, and then practiced how tying a tie, and I mastered it in 10-15 minutes. And that's all it took. But I knew that as I was getting my suit ready for Christmas next week, it dawned on me, crap, I don't even know how to tie a tie. That's something I need to know, not just as a grown-ass man, but as a dad. I need to know how to do that. That's kind of sad. So it's stuff like that. That's all part of being a parent as well. It's being able to teach your kids. Yeah, you want to spend time with them, you want to hang out with them, you want good times with them, but you also want to teach them. You need to have the foresight and the intuition to be able to look, a situational awareness, to be able to look at a situation with your son or your daughter and think to myself, this is a good teaching moment. I'm going to use this as a good teaching moment to teach them a lesson. And I just thought of tying that tie this morning. I just thought to myself, wow, this could be a good teaching moment. I need to learn how to do this because I need to be able to teach my son how to tie a tie one day. Because if we ever go to an event together and he has to wear a tie, he's not going to learn. Who's he going to learn from? Me. Because I'm his dad. Who else is going to teach him? I don't want anybody else teaching him. Me. I should be teaching him that. Same thing as my dad should have taught me. They didn't? Alright. Now, how long did that take? 10 minutes. 10 minutes on the YouTubes and learn what I need to learn, and that's it. And it's little things like that. You got to be able to set boundaries, and you got to be able to teach them. Teach your son and teach your daughter. And that's all part of being a parent. All part of it. And maybe there are going to be times when I don't want to teach them. Well, why? Why don't you want to teach them? I mean, they're not going to look to anybody else but you. I mean, you're the as far as I go, especially when you have a son, especially my son coming 3 months, I'm the primary teacher. He's gonna look for me for a masculine role model and how to perform and how to conduct himself in the world as a man. Who's he gonna look to? Me. So I gotta teach him that. You gotta be prepared that there's a fine line between being a dad, being a father, and being a parent. Because sometimes being a parent involves doing stuff that it's gonna suck sometimes that you don't want to do. But you're the one that decided to have a child. You decided to dedicate your life to having a child. You got to do it. You got to suck it up. You got to suck it up. You got to man up, and you got to get it done. Because nobody else is going to do it but you. Right? And on that note, thank you so much for watching. Guys, do me a big favor and help me out build this channel. Like and subscribe. Get this channel out there to other people who take great value out of it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one.